Hello and welcome, longtime best ever listeners, as well as best ever newbies. My name is Theo Hicks and I am the co-host of the world's longest daily running real estate investing podcast, the best real estate investing advice ever show on iTunes. And today I'm here to talk to you about the differences between the different IRR or internal rate of return metrics. If you haven't done so already, I highly recommend listening to our previous whiteboard video where I went into a lot of detail on what exactly IRR is. But just to quickly define it, it is a rate of return that is based off of three factors. Number one is the cash flow. Number two is the initial investment that cash flow is based off of. And number three is the timing of those distributions. Now, the difference between the XIRR and the IRR is when it comes down to that third metric, the timing. So for the regular IRR, it assumes that cash flow is distributed yearly or annually, whereas the XIRR assumes immediate distributions. So it calculates the internal rate of return based off of the exact moment you sent out those distributions. Because of that, it is a much more accurate rate of return, a much more accurate return metric than the IRR. However, when it comes to apartment syndications, if you are offering some sort of waterfall structure, which is a return that changes based off of a certain threshold. So for example, you may offer a 50-50 split of the, or a 70, you may offer a 70-30 split between the limited partner, the passive investors, and you, the GP, up to a certain IRR number, let's say 13%. Once the limited partners, the passive investors have received 13% IRR, then that profit structure might change to 50-50. And because of that change, you're not able to actually use the XIRR and you use the IRR. However, the XIRR will give you a much more accurate representation of what the true return is. I'm going to show you that by going over an example. So first, let's start with the equity investment, which is going to be equal between both. So let's say the initial investment was $1,000. So $1,000 right here, and $1,000 here. So we've got a $1,000 investment on both sides. And let's say that you are doing an 8% preferred return. So the investors will make $80 per year on that investment. So year one, they get $80. Year two, $80. Year three, $80. And then at the sale, they're going to receive their initial $1,000 back. Now, let's say we're actually going to do an XIRR calculation for this exact same distribution structure. And sure enough, you happen to not be sending out $80. And as a matter of fact, you aren't sending out $80 on an annual basis one time. You're actually doing biannual distributions. So each 6 months, you are distributing $40. So the first distribution, as on the first of the year, $40. And then every 6 months thereafter, distributing another $40. So $40 here, 40, 40, 40. And then on the last distribution, it's their $40 plus their initial equity back, which is $1,000, $1,040. Now, on both sides, the investor is getting an equal amount of money. They're getting $80 per year plus their money back at sales. So they're getting $80 in 2019, 2020, 2021 plus their $1,000. Now, when you do the IRR calculation, the IRR comes out to approximately 5%, whereas the XIRR actually comes out to approximately 8.5%. Now, why is there a difference? Well, on this side, they're getting their money back $40, much sooner than they are by assuming they're getting it at the end of the year. Now, how do you actually calculate this in Excel? So for the IRR, all you need to do is to create an array, exactly how I have over here. So you'll have your initial equity investment at the top. This will actually be a negative number. You'll have your yearly distributions, the amount of money them getting back at sale, and you'll do equals IRR, and then you'll input this array into that in Excel, hit enter, and you'll get your 5% number. A little bit different for the XIRR. So you'll do equals XIRR, and this time you have to create an array that includes the dates of the distributions. So on this side, you're not including the column starting at i.e. year 1, year 2, year 3 sale. You're just including the numbers. Or for the XIRR, you're including the array first. So these dates, so the 1st of the 19th all the way down to the 1st of the 2019 all the way down to the 1st of June 2020, comma, and then you're going to include the distributions that correspond with those dates. Hit enter, and you'll get your 8.5 number. And that is the difference between XIRR and IRR. Thank you for watching. For more in-depth content on apartment syndications, be sure to check out apartmentsyndication.com, and we'll talk to you soon.